it's Helen from Journal with Purpose and welcome to my latest video. Today I've got something that I'm just so excited to share with you. So by now you'll know that I absolutely love journaling and journaling supplies, and I also adore Christine and her shop London Gifties. And a few months ago now, Christine approached me with the most wonderful opportunity and asked me if I would like to design some products to sell in her shop. And I'm just so excited. So we've been working away on it in private for a good few months now, and they're finally ready and all listed in her shop. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you a little bit of the artwork that I sent over to Christine, and then how she's been able to turn them into some products that I'm just so happy with, and then I'll do some journaling with them. So I really hope you enjoy the video and that you love seeing the new products as well. So the first thing I'm going to share with you are these Journal with Purpose floral clear stamps, and I'm so happy with how these have come out. And these are the original sketches that I sent over to Christine, and it's just so amazing for me to see them then turned into these stamps. And the only thing we did after this was Christine asked me for some individual leaves and petals so that they could be added to that set as well. And I've had a good play with these stamps, and I've used lots of different inks on them. And one thing I would always advise is you can see the first time you use the stamp, because it's still got some oil on the plastic stamp from the manufacturing process, you don't get a necessarily clear print. So it's fine for me because I was just practicing and wanting to see the designs on here. But I'd always recommend doing a few stamps first, or just cleaning off the stamps, perhaps with a little bit of soapy water. But I love how these came out, and I'm definitely going to be using some of them in my journaling video today. And the next very exciting thing, so we've got the stamps, and the other products that we've got is a range of washi tapes, and I'm just beyond excited with these because I love washi tape and I always love Christine's designs, the different gold foiling and accents that she adds to it. So these are some of the paintings that I put together for repeating patterns. So some feathers, different flowers. Some of these made the cut, some didn't. Some were just different things I was playing around with. So these are the designs. Christine then mocked up the tapes for me, and this was the one that we haven't gone for, but we've gone for this and the different florals. So I'll go through and show you those. So we're in her shop, there'll be 2 wide washi tapes, and then you'll find 5 of the slimmer rolls too. So I'll start off by doing a swatch with this one, and this one is called Feathered Birds. And with the large rolls of washi tape, you'll find that they've got this backing on them. You can still tear them the way you would with normal washi tape, and then you just have to peel the backing off. So that one there then is the Feathered Birds. And that was the original artwork, and Christine's added some beautiful little gold birds running all the way through that washi tape. I'm not sure how well the gold will pick up on camera, but it's absolutely lovely. So I'll next do the other wide roll as well, and this one is called Floral Splashes. And if you do buy some of the wider ones, I'd always recommend keeping hold of these little bits of tape that come on, because they're really handy for keeping your tape still together. It's been so funny because Christine's been sending me these as they've arrived from the manufacturers, and so I've had, I think, the wider tapes now for a good few weeks, and then and the stamps, and then we just had to wait for the smaller rolls to arrive. So I've had them here and just so wanted to share them and use them in my journals, and now I finally can, so I'm just so excited. And hopefully you see with this washi again, some really beautiful gold details running through there. So yeah, that's the floral splashes. I'll next move on to the smaller washi tapes. So this one here is the Pretty in Pink. Again, beautiful gold details on these. And you'll notice one of the things that I really like about the tapes that Christine does at London Gifties is they're really nice and thick, so you get lots of tape on them. Okay, so this one next is Delicate Blooms. I was naughty actually and shared a little sneak peek of these over on my Patreon, and people told me their favourites, so I'd be really interested to know yours as well. So the next one I'll go for is Blooming Extravaganza. And then we've got Floral Fun. I'm going to hold these up to the camera in the light in a minute and just see if we can pick up some more of that gold detailing as well. And then the final one is Daisy Daydreams. So let's see if I can pick any of this detailing up. I'm hoping you might be able to see some of that gold detailing, and I love that. I think it just adds something really special to those tapes. So those are the products. It's the washi tapes and the floral stamps. I will of course leave Christine's shop London Gifties linked down below, and if you search Journal with Purpose or new releases on our shop, I'm sure you'll be able to find them. But any problems, just let me or Christine know, and I'm sure we'll be able to help you out. So I'm now just going to tidy all of these up a bit and then come back to do some journaling. So the journal that I'm using is a standard size traveller's notebook insert with Tomo River paper, and I keep it inside this vintage light cover from Start Bay Notebooks. And one of the first things I like to do with my journal pages is add a simple border, and for that I'm going to use this Delicate Blooms washi tape along both sides. I'm never worried about being too precise with washi tape. I just like to tear it off on the edges and get it roughly the right length that I want. And I just find it makes the pages look so inviting. It's such a nice, easy start into that kind of creative journaling time. Okay, so I've got those on my page, and the next thing I'm going to do is add some stamped floral clusters. And if you are new to stamping with these clear stamps, you're going to need an acrylic block. They're really cheap and these last me for years. This one was actually given to me by my mum a long time ago now. And the handles are really useful, but I've got some of the kind of flat ones as well, and they're also great. And then you just peel off the stamp you want and just press it onto your block. And one of the things I really like with clear stamps is that you can see straight through. So when you're stamping onto your page, unlike with some of the wooden block stamps, obviously you can't see exactly where the stamp's going, but with these ones you can. And the ink that I'm going to use is the Versa Magic chalk ink in Sahara Sand. and you then just stamp with them exactly the same way as you would with any sort of your wooden block stamps, exactly the same process. I'm going to put that down there. Try not to get too messy today. And one of the other things I've been asked is about cleaning these types of stamps. I've got some StazOn cleaner and the little brush board, and these bottles tend to last for years because you don't squeeze them, you just rub them over it and enough solution comes through that little sponge, and you rub them on the mat and then peel them off and just then put them back in your stamp set. And if you haven't got something like that, soapy water or probably even a wet wipe is going to be absolutely fine. You just want to make sure that you take most of the ink off in between each time of using them, otherwise you'll find that one, the ink can dry on the stamp, meaning that they don't last as long, they get a bit clogged up. Or the other thing you can find is that if you then use a different coloured ink pad next time, it might pick up and transfer some of that ink onto your onto your next ink pad. So this is where I'm just looking through that clear mount to check where I want it. I just want to add some nice clusters. And I'm going to do all of mine in this pale brown, but you could of course change your colours up. And one of the things I did when practicing is actually with this one I did the flower in one colour and then the leaves in a green ink pad. So you just need to be a bit careful with where you're dabbing the ink, but you can definitely do that as well. Okay. So I'm just going to carry on adding the stamping, do a little cluster down in this bottom right hand corner, and then probably a flower up in the top left, and then a couple of paces around my page. And that's another thing I really like to do to break up all of that blank space, which looks a bit intimidating I think when it comes to kind of creative journaling, is just start adding some designs. And this has obviously only taken me a few minutes. But it's a really nice way, I think, just to kind of relax you into it. There's not too much pressure, I don't think, when it comes with things like washi tape and stamping. Even if you get some odd smudges and things on your page, I don't think it matters at all. I'm just adding some little petals in this cluster. And I think I'll go for a larger floral up in the top left. I do try and balance my pages out a little bit, either by doing the same thing on one side of the page and then the other, or just by trying to balance out kind of the amount of stamping or colour that I use on each side. Oh, I'm really happy with how that one's come out. It's always a bit more difficult stamping on your left-hand page when your journal's got bulky, but I've slipped that underlay board underneath there and that seems to be doing the job. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of stamping here as well. I was so pleased because when I did the sketches for these, I added in quite a lot of line details, as you can see, and I wasn't sure how well they'd pick up on the stamps, either sort of during manufacturing or when it then came to putting the ink pads on them and using them on your page, but it's picked up every single detail from the original sketch. I'm just so happy about that, because I didn't know if I might be overcomplicating it when I sent these across to Christine, but I'm really happy with them. I think I might just add another little flower coming out here. there we go. And that's one tip, is to, if you find that you end up with ink around the edge of your acrylic block, it's worth putting the ink pad like that rather than the other way, just sort of pushing the stamp down into it, because you can press too hard. And also some of these little mini ink pads make it a bit easier than some of the big ink pads where you end up pressing the whole kind of stamp and the surrounding edge into it. So I really like using these smaller ones. So I think that is it with my stamping and washi tape. So that's only taken a few minutes, and already I feel I've got a really nice basis there for my journal page to be able to just start writing on if I want, or add a few extra decorations. I've decided one of the other things I want to do is use one of my other washi tapes. I think partly because I just want to use them all. So, but this one is the Pretty in Pink. And I'm going to just add it in the gaps on each side, with it slightly overlapping that first tape. But because they're transparent, you still get a hint of the design underneath as well. And then I'm going to do the same up here. And the other idea I'm playing around with is using this girl here. This was a tape from London Gifties from a while back, and it's Melinta brand by the looks of it. One of the reasons I really like these tapes with the background where you have to actually tear it off is that you can come and cut out individual parts of it that you want, and then just, I tend to tuck then these bits inside my journal so I can keep those ones in the front ready for when, say, if I'm doing a journal page that's got greens or blues in it, I could come back to those. So I'm still not sure about this, but I'm just going to have a cutter out and have a look. I actually think she might look quite nice down there. So yeah, I'm going to go for it. I think it's one of the things with journaling is don't overthink it, because even if you end up with something on the page that you later think, oh, I kind of wish I hadn't put that there, it's really not the end of the world. And I just think you learn a little bit of something every time you place something on your page about what you like and what you don't. Actually, I'm really happy with her because I've laid her on top of the tape. She doesn't stand out too much as kind of not fitting in with the page, but I really like the fact that she's just there. I like to think admiring the flowers. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use my black Muji gel pen, and I just want to add a really simple kind of dashed border all the way around the page where I don't have washi tape. And this is something I do a lot. You can do wiggly lines, squiggles, dashes like this, or something like a zigzag stitch. Anything you fancy, just to help bring those pages together. I'm going to run them underneath these stamps here as well. And then I'm going to move on to doing the journal writing. So a really quick and easy journaling spread from me today. But I hope it gives you some ideas for how you can play around with things like stamps on your journal pages. So if you want to do a bit of journaling but don't have tons of time, don't want to get all of your art supplies out and sit and try and sketch anything, something like that is really nice and easy to be able to add to your page. So I'm now going to just carry on. I'm going to add all of my journal writing, and for me this is going to be about the excitement of working with Christine to launch these tapes and stamps, and I really hope you kind of just enjoy the video. So there we are, that's my journal pages all completed. I kept them really simple because I knew how much that I wanted to write about, because I'm just so grateful to have had the chance to do this, and I wanted to get all of that out in my journal, and doing that alongside the products just seemed the perfect way of capturing that. Other things I should say about the stamps: if you use things like black stays on ink when you're stamping, you could definitely then add watercolour to the floral designs as well, and you could definitely colour in with coloured pencil and pens anyway, but that's something I definitely like to do, is use the waterproof ink so that you can choose the different colours that you want to add to your flowers. But I really hope that you've enjoyed watching me put these journal pages together. I really hope that you like the designs and the products too. And I hope you're doing well, and as always I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's joined me over on Patreon. I'll of course leave that link to Christine's shop down below. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I look forward to speaking with you really soon in my next video.